Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at Ice Cream Sandwich Android OS 4.0 on the HTC Vivid. That's a big deal because since the Samsung Galaxy Nexus came out in December of last year, we haven't seen any phone with Ice Cream Sandwich, and this is the first phone to get a carrier upgrade over the air to the new operating system. So finally, a phone gets Ice Cream Sandwich on Android OS 4.0. God knows what's taking so long. We've had the Samsung Galaxy Nexus out since the end of last year, that being Google's flagship phone that came with that operating system, and we expected to see updates coming sooner. And of all the phones to get, well, it's the unassuming HTC Vivid on at&t. Not that the Vivid isn't a nice phone, it's a good Android dual-core 1.2 gigahertz phone with a QHD display and LTE on at&t's network. But you just would have thought it might have been something higher profile. Even more likely, you would have thought it would have been the Nexus S, the previous Google flagship pure Android experience phone, which for some reason still doesn't have it. So anyway, that's why we're taking a look at this. Even if you don't have a Vivid, by the way, this will be interesting for you to see, particularly if you have an HTC phone, so you get an idea of what your upgrade is going to be like, and maybe even some of the upcoming HTC phones, like the HTC One series models. And in a way, this is even going to give you an idea of what the Samsung phones might be like when they get their upgrade too, because you're going to see what it looks like after the manufacturer customizes. Now that's an interesting point. At first, when it came to Ice Cream Sandwich, Google said they wanted all phones to have at least the option to run just a pure straight Android OS 4.0. Well, I see absolutely no place on this phone where you can turn off the HTC Sense customizations. Now, for those of you who like HTC Sense, that's not such a bad thing, but for those of you who are looking for something pure, interestingly enough, it's not here, and it's quite customized too, at that by HTC. So I expect to see Samsung TouchWiz phones and LG phones with their UI all being equally tweaked and stuff, so you're not going to be looking at that straight experience. And that's not always a bad thing, to be honest. I like Ice Cream Sandwich a lot, but it brought a lot of tablet features over to the phones, and some of them just didn't make as much sense to me in terms of UI, because gosh, these things are small and you just interact with them a little bit differently. Also, another I consider benefit is the fact that being an older phone, it has the hardware capacitive buttons down here. Easy to see, always easy to get to. They don't take any screen real estate. With the Galaxy Nexus, of course, we have the software buttons, just like on a honeycomb tablet down here for home, back, and for your multitasking. And they do take up some space, and sometimes depending on the app you're in, like the video player or the camera or something, they get blocked out to just little gray dots. So you have to remember which button is which, that kind of thing. So I still actually like having these here. So you can see we've still got that HTC Sense big flip clock here with the embedded weather, and I think most people actually enjoy that. Again, with any widget, if you don't want it, you can hide it, you can get rid of it, turn it off, that kind of thing. And we've got a launcher strip for applications here, which we also see on straight Android ICS vanilla too. Now you can customize what's here. You can drag anything off that you want, and you can put your own applications on here. And you can even make folders down here, which is interesting. If you drag one icon onto another, you can create a folder, and then you can rename it. So I've got way too many icons here, what a mess, and a lot of these are games. So I'm just going to drag one on top of the other, and I'm going to create a folder. And say I want to drag yet another game into there, just do that kind of thing. So that's a nice little Ice Cream Sandwich feature. But you know, overall, again, this doesn't look as different as vanilla Ice Cream Sandwich does from, say, Gingerbread. We're going to show you right here in settings so you can see for yourself what we've got running. So you can see we have Android OS 4.03 and HTC Sense 3.6. Now this doesn't have HTC Sense 4, which HTC showed off recently at Mobile World Congress, and there are some subtle differences. For example, in the application drawer, it still goes up and down, just like it did in previous versions of HTC Sense versus sideways. When you're on your desktop here, you have this little bar right there that shows you which of your many home screens you're on. It's a nice little visual indicator. And we've got some of the standard HTC stuff here, like FriendStream loaded up. So pretty much all the widgets that you know and love from HTC, if you're an HTC fan, are still here. And again, if you don't like them, you can hide them. In terms of notifications, we don't have the blue on black look that you see on vanilla Android, but we have basically the same functionality here. We have recently used applications up top. I've got notifications here, and I can switch to quick settings, which is handy, so I can change my wireless networks and stuff like that. So since the application drawer doesn't have a secondary tab with all your widgets on, how do you get to them? You tap the menu button, and you got Personalize, which takes you into your standard set of HTC personalization features, Wallpaper, and Settings. And if we choose personalized, there you go. You can choose from all the widgets that are available, put shortcuts to apps, shortcuts to quick dials and stuff like that. So here's all the widgets that are currently available right now, just mostly from HTC and from Google. I've got a few third-party ones installed as well. And for multitasking management, you press and hold the home button. And there you've got that cool new UI that we have for everything that's running, and say you want to dismiss something, just there it is. It's gone. Like so. Pretty cool, pretty fast. By the way, the phone feels very fast running ICS. Definitely feels like an improvement over Gingerbread in terms of speed. And web browsing is particularly fast. And this is just a stock Android web browser. And speeds have gone up greatly when it comes to things, benchmarks like SunSpider JavaScript test, twice as fast. It's at about 2400 now, where we're about 4500 with Gingerbread, so definite improvement. Now we'll load a big fat full page review here. And there is Adobe Flash now for Ice Cream Sandwich. When the Galaxy Nexus first came out, Flash wasn't ready yet. It is ready now, so you've got that available inline now in your web browser as well. We've got several videos embedded in there, as you can see. Zooming is good. The new system font for Ice Cream Sandwich, very nice, easier to see. And then we're testing out a little Adobe Flash over AT&T's LTE network.
This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at some demanding gaming on the HP NV14 Spectre. Now this guy has an Ultrabook set of RAIDs inside, and Intel HD 3000 graphics, so don't expect too much from gaming, but nonetheless we're going to try Skyrim and
Good performance, works just fine.
First we're going to take a look at Fear 2.
Now you can see the menu bar here is very simple, a little customized by HTC, just back and refresh, but if you hit the menu key, you've got all your options here, including the View Desktop Site option that comes with Ice Cream Sandwich. Awesome, so nice to not get fed the mobile version of a website if you don't want to. And we've got print function built in there now, and all your other settings here. Bandwidth management now, and it actually has a bandwidth management monitor built into it, so if you're worried about going over your data plan, very handy. And while we're talking about web browsers, with Ice Cream Sandwich you can now download and install the Chrome Beta, which is, well, it's the companion to the Chrome desktop browser. Very fast, very nice, excellent desktop style rendering here. Does HTML5 video, does not do Adobe Flash, but really worth a try, and it's a free download from the Google Play Store, as it's now called. Now all the apps that you got before are still here, AT&T Navigator, Kindle, stuff like that's pre-bundled, but now you can actually remove quite a bit of the bloatware, which is nice. We'll take a look at that. If we go into apps, and then we switch to all apps instead of just the ones that I've downloaded, and say I want to get rid of Mog Music. Scroll down to this long list till we get to it. And there we go, uninstall. That was something that AT&T had included. I didn't want it. Just about everything is uninstallable. AT&T Navigator is there permanently, but I've removed most of their other applications. Sorry, AT&T, just didn't want them. Also new with the upgrade to Sense 3.6 for the Vivid is Beats Audio. Isn't that interesting? Came out of nowhere, didn't it? And it'll be grayed out if you don't have headphones plugged in. You need to have some kind of external stereo device in use for this to light up, and then you can turn it on and off. So I've actually used this with some music and games, and as you'd expect from Beats, you get some nice accentuated bass. And here we have HTC's customized dialer. It looks pretty much like the last version that you saw under Gingerbread. You've got access to your phone, to your contacts, HTC people in other words, call history, all that kind of thing. Scrolling list of your contacts back here. At start, it's always going to have your 2 most recent calls and the top of your favorites list showing. So generally, lovely, easy to use stuff. So when I take a look at the People app, this isn't quite the same as the vanilla Ice Cream Sandwich version that we saw that looked an awful lot like Windows Phone, actually. But you've got your basic list of people here, and anybody that you want to see details on, you just tap it. And then there it is, all sorts of contact information there. And then you've also got these handy, you can switch to Thread here, for example, to see any interaction you've had, Facebook, social networking, phone calls that you've made. Any update, if you want to update that information to get the latest stuff pulled from your social networking, and gallery in case you have any pictures of that person, which I do not in case of the Apple Store in Frisco. Also new for Ice Cream Sandwich is cool face unlock and pattern unlock, and if you go to the security settings you can choose your screen lock right here, And you see, you can disable it completely, do face unlock, and then it's going to use the camera, it's going to take a look at you, and if it recognizes you, it's going to unlock it. Works pretty well as long as lighting is good. Or you can use a pattern here, so you can draw a pattern on the screen to lock and unlock it, which could potentially be more secure than just using a PIN code, which you can use a PIN also or a password. And if you want to do the PIN unlock, this is what it looks like, and here's the demo that shows you all the possibilities. And you have to connect at least 4 dots for this to work. So a lot of good security there, and yes, the cool face unlock is here. And lastly, we're going to take a look at the camera application, because Google has really sped that up and done a nice job with the UI on it. And you can see we've got our big shutter button here, flash control, quick settings access, switching your modes and scenes, and then shortcut to gallery and then to effects as well. So what mode does for you, lets you switch between the 2 cameras and between photo and video mode. And we're going to stick with what we got, and in this case we're going to test this out and see how quickly you can shoot a picture. So here we got a pretty orchid, we're going to take a picture of that. Pretty quick. And then you've got your usual options to do stuff with it, and we'll try another picture. So there you have it. And then for enhance, you've got a bunch of different effects over here from HTC. Lots of effects. So again, nicely done. And by the way, this is a nice 8 megapixel camera here, wide aperture lens. Good camera for taking pictures and shooting video. And now if you want to take a look at those pictures, we just pop in the gallery. Nice shot. So there you have it. So that's the HTC Vivid, available on AT&T, running Ice Cream Sandwich, Android OS 4.0, and this is a free update that's available now. So you go into your settings and choose AT&T updates and download it. It's about 300 or so megs. You're going to have to download over Wi-Fi, and if you're having trouble doing that for any reason, you can go to HTC's website and download it to your computer and install it using your computer. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to visit our website and subscribe to our YouTube videos.